Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Crypto Stu here in the Crypto Stu studio. I'm sure you guys know this about me already, but I watch a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of crypto YouTube videos, and it is very rare, that any of the people say anything that remotely shocks me, remotely surprises me. And I was watching this Raoul Paul podcast from about a month ago, and what he said actually blew me away. And so it's rare that that happens. I figured I'd just play the clip, share it with you. It's about 2 minutes long. I think it's well worth it. So just listen to the 2 minute clip, and then I'll tell you why it was so shocking to me. So I'm going to bring that up now. Let's see if I do this right.
I I spoke to the Department of Defense about this in 2014, 13, and I said, they periodically, reach out to people like me, thinkers about stuff who are looking at crises and stuff like that, because their job is to assess risk. And I was talking to them about it, and I said, obviously, he said, we're worried about debt, we're worried about the system blowing up. I said, yes, obviously, everybody is, because that's one of the things they need to game out. What happens if the West loses control of money and debt and everything else? And I said, well, I think the answer's there, and I think it's Bitcoin. And he said, yeah, well, tell me more. I said, and I think the US government and the UK government invented it, which is the NSA and the GCHQ in the UK, who are the two world centers of cryptography. Because even how the white paper's written, it's
You think
this
they're
transatlantic.
Satoshi?
Yes, always have. And I asked the Department of Defense. They said, "Yeah, we've considered that too." That they
Interesting. Do you
seeded
think it was official,
experiments.
or it was just people from that went rogue?
I don't think it's necessarily a rogueness. I think like Google have, like Google X, where they do tons of experiments, right? They know that one of the esoteric risks for the entire Western system is the issue of money. So there's probably groups of people who are given things to try. And if you can seed a new system, maybe they tried 100 of these and just one succeeded. We don't know. But it would make sense, because that's what they do, this kind of stuff. So one of these took off.
So yeah, that was it. Raoul Paul believes that the CIA or NSA and the U.S. government is Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, I know some people out there, and I know I only get about 30 viewers per video, but I know a lot of people say, "Oh, come on, Crypto Stew, that's old news." People thinking that the government, built Bitcoin. I've heard that 100 times. It's a, what old theory, old conspiracy theory about Bitcoin. Yes, however, for this guy to believe that, and he didn't even say, "Oh, it's a theory. Oh, I think it might be likely." He said that he believes that the U.S. government made Bitcoin. This guy, if you don't know who Raoul Paul is, he's pretty significant in the crypto world. He's a former Goldman Sachs hedge fund guy who then just decided to just go all in on crypto, and he's become a crypto guru since then. Max Kaiser thinks he's a grifter because Max Kaiser thinks anyone who believes in any coin that isn't Bitcoin is a grifter. I'm a huge fan of Max Kaiser, but he's such a Bitcoin maximalist. It's unbelievable. But shame on the guy who was interviewing Raoul Paul here. This is really the point of my videos. Look, all right, this Tom Bilyeu, look, he has 3.6 million subscribers. I have like 30 subscribers, okay? He's good, I'm bad. He's the best, I'm the worst. I get it, okay? But shame on Tom Bilyeu. Shame on him, because he doesn't ask the obvious follow-up question here. He doesn't do it. All right, I watched the whole thing. He doesn't ask it. The obvious, in the first place my mind went when I was watching this, and I had to watch it multiple times because I couldn't believe what Raoul Paul was saying. The obvious follow-up question is, if the U.S. government is Satoshi Nakamoto, then the U.S. government has access to Satoshi Nakamoto's coins. And that would mean that the government could crash Bitcoin, crash its price whenever it wanted. Whenever it wanted, it could just make Bitcoin go to less than $1,000, like almost overnight. And they don't even have to sell the Bitcoin, because Satoshi, people estimate how many coins are Satoshi's coins. It's about 1.1 million Bitcoin. That is such a significant amount of the out of the Bitcoin in existence. 1.1 million Bitcoin. It's over $30 billion. And the real thing of it is they wouldn't even have to sell those coins to crash the price. What everyone does know is that the Genesis block, those coins are Satoshi's. The very first Bitcoin block ever mined was those are Satoshi's coins. There's 50 Bitcoin in there. If any of it ever moved, just from one account to another, from that account to any other account, $20 of Bitcoin from that account moved, Bitcoin would drop probably 30% in 2 hours and another 20% over the next week. Easily. It would easily drop at least 50% in a week if any of those coins moved. Because right now, Bitcoin's price is pricing in that Satoshi is dead or gone forever, call it whatever you want, and that those coins are dead forever. That's what's priced into Bitcoin. When Bitcoin's 30,000 a coin, that's pricing in that the 1.1 million Bitcoin that are Satoshis will never be moved, will never be sold. They're just lost. And if any of the Genesis block coins ever moved, any of it, then the market would have to reprice Bitcoin based on the knowledge that those coins are not dead, that those coins could be sold, and the effects on Bitcoin's price would be catastrophic. And this guy, is a hedge fund guy. He approximates risk, so that has to be somewhere in his risk assessment of owning Bitcoin. That if he believes the government is Satoshi, that the government, if it ever wanted to, could just crash the price. That wouldn't kill Bitcoin. It would just kill the price. Even if the government dumped the 1.1 million Bitcoin onto the market, those coins would eventually be bought up, and Bitcoin would find a much lower price that it was comfortable at, and then the adoption would continue growing, and it would grow from there. And if anything, after that, it would grow from a stronger base, because it would grow without with the knowledge of where Satoshi's coins were. That it would no longer have this hanging over its head. But for this guy to say that he believes, and he's always believed, that the U.S. government is Satoshi, that absolutely blew me away. But also, it blew me away that the interviewer didn't ask about Satoshi's coins and the fact that he believes the government would then have control of those coins, that he never had that discussion, because I would really be curious what Raoul Pal would have to say about that concept, that if the government is Satoshi, then the government has access to Satoshi's coins. But yeah, so look, anytime I see something that just shocks me like this, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. So that's it for today. And until next time, this is Crypto Stu, signing off.